Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead and the Rick Grimes movie. We got an update today, which I wasn't really expecting, but the producer for the Rick Grimes movie gave us an update, which is really cool, and it sort of gives us an idea of when we can expect this to possibly come out and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through this interview and talk about what the producer said, and then we'll talk about what we can expect and when it could possibly come out, as well as Comic-Con coming up pretty shortly, so we might see like a trailer or something. We'll talk all about that in this video today. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, a Walking Dead Rick Grimes movie update, and by the looks of it, it looks like they're getting pretty close to filming, which is really awesome. So yeah, let's get into this and talk about what they said. So the article comes from comicbook.com, credits to them. They said the Walking Dead feature film starring Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes is coming along, this is in quotes, coming along in a big way, despite the prolonged pause in production amid the coronavirus pandemic, according to executive producer David Albert. First announced by Walking Dead Chief Content Officer and former showrunner Scott Gimple immediately following Lincoln's departure from the AMC television series in November 2018. Wow, that was almost 2 years ago. That's crazy. The untitled feature film is a planned start of a trilogy and will reveal what happened to Rick and Anne, Paulina McIntosh, formerly Jadis of the Scavengers, after they were shuttled away aboard a Civic Republic military helicopter. Whoa! CRM. Did we just... Holy crap, I did not even realize that. Did they just give us the answer to what CRM actually stands for? Civic Republic Military. Wow, I mean, that was... Wow, I mean, that's kind of crazy. They just, like, gave that away without, like... I mean, the title of the article isn't even, like, CRM, you know, title revealed. It was just, like, said... I mean, unless I'm mistaken, did they already say that before? Did you guys already know that? If you already knew that, let me know, because I definitely did not know that. I have never heard that before. But yeah, it looks like CRM is Civic Republic Military. Oh, I was about to say helicopter. Civic Republic Military. That's really cool. Wow. So anyways, yeah, Civic Republic Military helicopter and taken to a new corner of the zombie apocalypse. Wow, so that's awesome. I mean, I did not really expect that. I like reading the articles for the first time while I'm making the video, because I like reading it and giving you guys like my first impressions on it, like what I immediately thought of it, my first thoughts. So I didn't read this before, and then I just like read over Civic Republic Military, and then CRM popped up, which is kind of, I don't know. Again, I might be making a big deal out of this if they've already revealed that, but I didn't know it was called Civic Republic Military, but that's really cool. And it might have already been revealed, because I've never seen, like, the article title isn't what CRM stands for, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, so David Albert obviously being an executive producer, because he is producing it with Skybound. Skybound and The Walking Dead are doing it. Universal is distributing it, so that's really cool. But moving on, they said, we're coming along in a big way. We're just in this particular space where we have to wait, the Skybound Entertainment co-founder said during virtual Skybound Expo panel Skybound Past, Present, and Future. We can't shoot right now, so that's just a big thing holding us back. So by the looks of it, it looks like they might be ready to start filming, which is very, very exciting. Obviously, again, they can't film right now because of the pandemic. Nothing is filming. But it does look like they're getting ready to start filming this Rick Grimes movie, which is awesome. They've been pretty quiet about it, which I guess is normal. I mean, I think movies are, movie productions I think are much more secretive. And with The Walking Dead, we already like sort of know their filming schedule, because, you know, they film in the public. They have like Sonoy there, which is like a town you can actually visit. There's Walking Dead stores and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, every time The Walking Dead films, it's a pretty big deal. So, you know, it's never like, you know, so we already know like their filming schedule for The Walking Dead. It's always like, you know, May to November. But with the movies, it's much more secretive because there's so much that goes into it. And again, this looks to be like a pretty big movie. It's not just like a TV movie. This is like getting distributed by Universal, which probably means it's going to get like worldwide distribution, I'm assuming, because it's Universal. It's one of the biggest distributors, you know, in the film industry. So with all that being said, I don't think it's going to be like a small movie by any means. It's going to be pretty big, I think. Also, it's a trilogy, so I mean, I don't know if they would film all three at the same time. That would be pretty interesting to see if they do that, because if it takes place in the same location, maybe. But again, they probably won't because of how big these movies are. So we'll see. I think they might, do the first one and see how that turns out, and then maybe do the second one. But they're definitely planning all three because it's like a Rick Grimes trilogy. So I'm sure they're all gonna be connected and they're planning it out. So it's been pretty quiet. But moving on, he does say this. We are desperate to get back into production and get everything going, Albert added. But we have something really exciting, really unique, really different, and can't wait to get it going. We just have to wait for it to be safe. So it does look like they were getting ready to start filming, which makes sense ultimately because, again, in the beginning they said the movies were announced in November of 2018. That was like almost 2 years ago. And they were teasing all of like last year pretty much. They were getting pretty close to filming. We're going to start filming pretty soon. The script is getting polished and, there's multiple drafts. So with all that being said, it made, a lot of sense. And I know a lot of people are also saying that they're probably going to start filming this in 2020. But then, with coronavirus and everything like that, they can't film. But it does look like they're going to be ready to start filming whenever, things get back to normal. So that's what we can get into, like when this movie is going to come out. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but I want to go ahead and read this one thing that Robert Kirkman said. So he said, there's tons of stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't want anyone to think that we're just kind of waiting around for this pandemic to end, Kirkman said. I would say that, if anything, the pandemic is going to make a lot of movies better. I think the Rick Grimes movie chief among them. Just because we're getting a lot of time to cook this thing and make sure it's perfect. But when things do quiet down, you guys are going to hear a ton more about this movie. So obviously he's referring to the fact that because they haven't started filming yet, they still have time to, like micromanage and just sort of like, do little edits here and there and, decide on what's going to be, in the final movie and, all that kind of stuff before they start filming. But when he said that you guys are going to hear a ton more about this movie when things do quiet down, yeah, I do have a feeling that they were actually getting ready to start filming, because if they weren't filming by now, like if the coronavirus, I know they can't film because of the coronavirus, but I remember in the beginning or like late last year, we were saying that they should probably start filming this movie like mid 2020, right? And if they don't, that's a little bit weird because that means they've been in pre-production for like two years almost, right? And that's a little bit odd. So yeah, and I know a lot of people were thinking they were going to start filming it in 2020, so I think they really were, but then unfortunately the coronavirus happened, so they couldn't film it, but it does look like they were getting ready to start filming. But now we can talk a little bit about release dates and all that kind of stuff. So right now in the film industry, release dates are really up in the air because no one knows what's going to happen with the coronavirus. We really don't, because, things were getting better a little bit, but now they're worse, like they're worse than they were before. So like, again, we don't know what's going to happen. We've had movies get delayed like an entire year. We had movies like not even be on the release schedule because, again, nobody knows what's going to happen. But I do think if they were planning to start filming during the summer of 2020, which makes sense, it makes sense why they would start filming in the summer of 2020. But I think if they were going to start filming this year, I would probably expect like a 2021 release, which I still think could happen. Because I feel like the movie got announced in 2018, right? Like, I don't know if they would announce a movie in 2018 that isn't going to come out until, like, 2022 or 2023. Like, movies typically do not get announced that aren't, like, 4 or 5 years in advance. Like, that usually does not happen unless it's, like, a franchise film, like maybe a Star Wars movie or a Marvel movie. Like, yeah, The Walking Dead is a franchise, but would they really announce the first movie, like, 4 or 5 years in advance? Like, I don't know. Like, 3 years is definitely, 3 years isn't that long. That's how long it usually takes from a movie to get in from pre-production to like release. So that makes sense. So 2021 seemed to be like the ideal release date, I think, in everybody's mind. But now that it's been delayed because of the coronavirus, I still think it could come out in 2021. And that's because, again, they come out with like 16 Walking Dead episodes in a year. So I think they could potentially have a movie out even if they start filming this thing like late 2020 or early 2021. But that was just me. My only defense for that is because they have 16 episodes. of The Walking Dead a year. But I mean, there also have been movies that start filming in the beginning of a year and then are released at the end of the year. I think even Zombieland 2 did that. If I remember correctly, Zombieland 2 started filming like early 2019, I think, and then it came out like October of 2019. So movies could come out, like in the same year they film. It's definitely possible. So even if this Rick Grimes movie starts filming in the beginning of 2021, I think it could potentially, still come out in 2021. I don't know when they were planning on 2021. Maybe that got affected. Like if they were planning on like maybe a summer 2021 release, yeah, that probably got affected. But if they were planning, but they could definitely like easily just delay it to the fall or winter, and I still think it could possibly come out if they start filming, like early 2021. But if things keep getting delayed, then yeah, it's probably not going to come out in 2021. But hopefully it does, and we'll see. But the next thing I want to talk about is San Diego Comic-Con, because that's coming up on the 24th, and hopefully we get some sort of news there. I am expecting us to get some sort of news there because they gave us news last summer at the Comic-Con. So, I mean, again, we don't know for sure, but hopefully we do. Scott M. Gimple will be there, so maybe he's going to give us like a release date. But, I mean, I feel like if it was a regular Comic-Con, we would have gotten a release date. But because, again, things are just so, uncertain right now, we might not be able to, they might not be able to give us a release date because they could change. But they probably have one in mind. But I think even if they tell us like we're planning on releasing it on 2021, I think everyone will be happy. I mean, today's news is pretty big in my opinion, because they pretty much told us they're ready to start filming, so that's pretty exciting. So I quickly wanted to share this information with you guys. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Again, Comic-Con is pretty soon. I'll be making videos about the stuff we learned there, so be sure to stay tuned by hitting the subscribe button. Again, let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Please stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon.